do one of these.
I could do rolling anti-lag in first, probably.
Okay. What's up, TRC fans? Don't miss our new event, King of the Open Road. Join the TRC team for an epic drag and drive experience you'll never forget. Coder features a scenic cruise, drag racing, and a car show. We'll see you out on the open road. What's up, guys? Javier from That Racing Channel. Welcome back to another one. We are back out at TX2K23. Behind me, we have a car you guys will know very well. Kratos, built by Nth Moto. This Viper currently holds the record for the quickest Gen 5 Viper in the entire world. It makes north of 3,000 wheel horsepower. We're about to go for a spin on the street. Let's get into it. This thing sounds and feels a bit rowdy.
Yeah, it's a little aggressive. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my whole body's shaking.
Yeah.
I love it.
In a good way though.
In a very good way.
Yeah.
This car with sixes.
Yep.
Quickest Gen 5 Viper in the world currently.
Yep.
And you just push button start it like you're gonna just start it up every day and drive it to the grocery store.
Yeah, no switches, no nothing, no like, yeah, all that, yeah. Yep.
So we filmed this car many of times through the years, through most of the iterations. It's always been a pretty wild car from the start. I think this iteration of the car is by far the most dialed and pretty darn wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, there hasn't really been, actually, I don't think, any real hard parts changes along the way. Just kind of something that when you've flipped so many stones like this and you've got so many really unique components and parts, that there's a natural progression of like, hey, we learned this, let's try this, let's, you know, adjust this, and you kind of keep chipping away. I mean, the reality is that I think the first time you guys ever saw it was at Florida 2K 2 years ago.
Yep.
And it won that event in the Outlaw class. And there were a lot of things that we were just kind of like throwing it at it, like, well, that seemed to go pretty well. But then we looked at it and said, okay, well, this could be better, this could be better, this could be better. And then that's really been the game, just like
chip
small
away
revisions. So yeah, so like all this stuff, you know, normal, like just look at our little.
And I will say, in those 2 years, it's the first time we're ever going to go for a ride.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
I'm excited.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, on the interior, I mean, outside of this, don't look at this here.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Stock car. And even the way that the cage was done, I don't know how well we've actually showed this in previous videos, but the way the cage was done is so tucked. Like, you can, and my head's so far away from it even here.
Yeah, with a helmet, you know, so that was like, that's part of the idea. Like, it has to be a functional race car.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it. Like, this is, and it's not a big cabin. So that is a pretty significant challenge on these cars. And even, yeah, like we did go to an M&M air shifter now to make my job in the car a little bit easier, or the owner. It looks a lot more race car here now. It used to have that shifter that was really cool that looked totally stock, like 6-speed in there. And that was a lot of fun to drive too. This takes a little bit of the excitement out of the wide open throttle drive because it shifts itself. but that also is like way better to concentrate on what's actually happening. So,
Oh yeah.
so we can get moving here if you want to.
Yeah.
So
Let's do this.
factory launch button, so all the CAN integration is all here. So the factory launch button is the transmission brake button also. So that's the button I use when we're launching the car. Some of you may be wondering why, like, you know, this style of transmission, the transmission brake is what engages reverse. So you have to hold that down for reverse to function. I put the windows up just to be quieter, but I don't know if you want them down to listen to it as you're coming through the pits here and whatnot.
Crack
So
a little bit here. I'll tell you, there's nothing like, this is a 9-liter, right?
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
Just about?
Yeah.
There's nothing like the sound of just cubic inches.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is a cool cam profile. Like, this is still a hydraulic roller motor, so we can only go so radical, but that's kind of the still same concept behind this thing. Like, we kind of wanted it to be a low maintenance deal. I mean, you were around us since Tuesday when we got here.
Yeah.
And we didn't even pull a plug out of this thing. Like, and I like, knock on wood, that, you know, that doesn't always work that way,
Right.
but that's kind of the idea. Like, it's a pretty low muss, no fuss type combination, which is pretty kind of absurd to say.
It really
for
is.
something that's this fast.
Something this fast, yeah.
Yeah. Or that we can just like casually idle our way out
Exactly.
there, like da-di-da-di-da.
I mean, most setups that are good for like 3 to 3,500 horsepower, you're not doing this.
The drag and drive guys certainly have that stuff figured out too.
Oh, sure. But I mean, you know, they're not sitting in an interior like this.
Not really, no. No.
You guys also hold quickest Viper period in your camp, right?
Yep.
So that's Will Dugan's car?
Yep. That car's been 661 at 220. And this car is actually quite similar in just about all the combination function of it, other than that it's in a Gen 5 instead of in a Gen 2.
Gotcha.
So
I'm getting spoiled today, guys. We're gonna just cruise the AC at 3,000 horsepower.
right. Oh, here
It's always a good day when we get to go fast and we get AC.
yeah, and I'll use the cruise control here instead.
Oh, and we got cruise control?
Yeah.
All right, set it to like 180.
Yeah, right.
Dude.
That's nice and gentle.
This thing f***s.
As
soon as it clicks second, I felt like maybe, what, 200 horsepower come in?
Well,
that sound about right?
It makes about, on lower boost levels, it makes about 60 to 62 wheel horsepower per pound of boost.
My butt dyno said like a couple hundred horsepower.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it's actually...
You're gonna see my face change in whatever cameras. I'm like, this is good,
Right.
this is good.
Right,
It's very stable.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, and obviously, like, this is nothing compared to what it can do, kind of thing.
Of course.
But
I can't even imagine with some glue down going down the racetrack, and I mean,
it's good. You should get you some of that someday.
Yeah. Sneak me in. I'll duck down so they don't see me, and just do a little ride along.
Yeah, pretty drama free.
Yeah. So is this the go fast button?
That's the what we call the PRK, the power request knob.
Power request knob?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's 9 different settings on there that no matter what fuel composition the car is on, it you're basically asking it to make more power. So it will adjust that power ramp according to whatever fuel composition it senses in the vehicle at that point. And so basically, if you were to go put this on pump gas, which this car made a little, just shy of 1,700 wheel horsepower on pump gas. So if you were like turned all the way up on the PRK, and you were on ethanol and then you got stuck and you had to put pump gas in it, it's going to work the ramp as aggressive as it can, just like if it were on ethanol, up until my like calibrated limit of, hey, this is where we got to stop the party on pump gas.
Gotcha.
So that way, you know,
how much you say made on pump gas?
Just shy of 17. I think like 1680 or something. Yeah, it was actually 91 also. We have 91 octane in Minnesota mostly.
Oh my god, that's wild.
And yeah, no,
it's like you get with big engines.
Admittedly, you know, it was we did that like in January or something. So like the dyno cell was like 10 degrees or something. So like that made its life pretty easy.
Bit, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it was like 18 pounds of boost peak or something. Like it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So
all right, so what you're saying is I just gotta take this knob and just break it off to the right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you have a wish to feel insanity, yes. Yeah, that's correct.
Yep, let's go ahead and do that.
Like, to give context, when we're on the racetrack, about 32 pounds of boost at the top of first gear. So by like 90 to 100 miles an hour, it's got about like close to 3,000 horsepower in it.
We're gonna go ahead and just do one of these.
Yep. I could do rolling anti-lag in first, probably.
Okay. That high gear gets trucking.
There's something happening then. Yeah.
I think my face is still on. My feet are tingling.
Oh, good.
My feet are tingling.
That's called the D10 massage.
Man. My man.
It's pretty exciting, isn't it?
That's so exciting. Oh my god.
It's a really cool car.
My adrenaline is through the roof right now.
Yeah.
Jesus. my hands are shaking a little bit.
She's a sweetheart, man.
This thing is awesome.
Yeah, very cool car. We're super thankful that that Don gave us this chance to do this car and build it to this extent and kind of open up our imagination and go like, yeah, let's do it like all the cool stuff, but leave all the cool stuff. Like, I think it's just so much neater that the car is as fast as what it is and has accomplished so much of what it has done, and still it's not super cut up, it's not super lightened. Like I always tell people, like, it's 4,030 pounds with me in the car, which is absurd.
It really is.
Yeah,
absurd.
It's absurd. Like, it's a terrible idea, actually. But when you, like, racers know, you know, like the stuff that we're typically racing against, and, you know, racers are always like, they always want to say they have the heaviest car out there, but like, man, 4,000 pounds is a really heavy car for something going sixes. There are certainly others out there and all that, like, no doubt about that. But it's not, like, people don't do it because it's hard. It's hard on parts, it's hard on combinations, it takes a lot of power to overcome that. And then you add to this, like, if that weren't bad enough, then we're like, you know what, we need a couple 1,000 pounds of aero on the car. That's a good idea. Like,
it being an ACR.
Yeah. Now, that said, like, you just felt this thing on the racetrack we were just on back there.
Yeah.
And it's a very stable car.
Oh, this thing is planted.
Yeah,
it's such a unique experience.
And you know, our team, like, we have the best guys. We have the best team. Everybody puts brain power into it, and every time we finish something, like, everyone within the company is like, you know what, we could do this different, or let's change this, or let's adjust this, or try this. Because sometimes you're like, no, like it's working, like, let's just do that, right? But the concept of desired evolution and improvement is never ending, and I'm super grateful for that within our company and our customers at the same time. Like, they always seem to be appreciative of it, because then they just keep coming back for more.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
I cannot thank you enough, man. This is,
my hands are cold. I'm gonna have to turn it like this.
I'm too cold.
What's happened? Yeah, sorry.
This is honestly one of the most unique experiences I've had with, like, the Vipers. Obviously, I've been in a stick shift and been in a sequential one.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing does it all.
It's the bee's knees.
All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed that ride along. This thing is an absolute beast. Now we're gonna get into showing you some drag racing and roll racing with Kratos and another sequential Viper they brought. Stay tuned. What's up, man? So we just got, we finally got to racing here. This rain has been holding us back a little bit, and we've been itching. But yeah, man. So how did the first round of qualifying go?
I mean, I'll say good, even though it wasn't really what we had intended on. We had to be pretty darn strategic about what we're trying to do. There's concern that we might only get one qualifying pass, so that kind of changes everything, because now it's like there's a lot of really fast cars here in the street car class. You've got guys that have gone sixes, deeper sixes by a good bit than where we've ever been, you know, and probably plenty others that could. So we went up and we really slowed the car down, not really sure what the track was going to take. The risk of that with a car that makes this much power, and we talked about it before, the weight distribution, is like you slow it down in the 60 and then the ramp comes up and then she tries to climb and does a little power wheelie, which this was a little bit more than a little power wheelie, I think. It was fun, but it's actually never done that, which is a good bad. Means we were doing something good, but now we got to come up with a way to make it not do that the same way. But yeah, it stood up, and I pedaled it, and I really thought it recovered pretty nicely, and I think it did, but it set down the front end hard enough that it upset the car, and then it stepped to the side pretty hard. And when that happened, because this is a real functioning car, and what I mean by that is, like, it has an OEM ABS system and an ESC, electronic stability control system, and even though that stuff's disabled for that, it threw the airbag light, it threw the ESC light, it threw the traction control light, like all these things are like, you know, I'm assuming the programmers at Chrysler, bless their hearts, probably weren't planning on them doing power wheelies to 200, 300 feet out on the track or whatever it did, I don't know. So I got a little upset about that, and I already saw a camera view from the back. You see the brake lights come on. It did that, like it tried to apply the brakes at that point. So that there's, you know, we're learning some of that, I guess. But nevertheless, we pedaled it enough because we might only get one, and we still don't know. And that was a little bit more of a cowboy move than I would normally account myself for. But so we still finished out at a 774 at 200, almost went 201, but still made it over 200. Yeah, even though it was, even though that was far less than ideal.
This year, I know you've got some pretty quick cars. I believe the quickest Viper in the world happens not to be here, but nevertheless it is. What's different about this car? It's a Gen 5 versus the others that you've built, and what are you trying to do here, and what are you hoping to run?
Not a tremendous amount of difference, other than it is a later model car itself. As far as Ben 690, we're really hoping to see it go quicker than that ultimately. But this run here is probably one of our only chances to maybe have a chance of playing with Garrett over there. So we're gonna we'll take a swing at it, see how it goes.
Harry, what's up, man? Another wild ride, it looks like.
You know, it. I tried to warn myself, like basically when the car power wheelies like that, you have to, you actually kind of have to put more in it rather than take some away, and everyone, it's kind of, you know, backwards thinking. So we put more in it down low. I just was also a little bit more mentally prepared that maybe it would stand up. This car really doesn't usually do that to us, so we got something going on I got to think through. But, you know, it went a 120/60, which is nice for us. That's a pretty good place. I really wish I didn't have to pedal it, because that probably would have been the best this car's ever ran, I bet. Because that was a pretty significant lift.
Yeah, that was a significant lift for sure, man.
Yeah, so, and it still went a 484 at 162 in the 8th.
How's the mile an hour?
In the 8th, 162, 208 and change out the back. So
that's getting it out the back there.
Yeah, that makes about sense. Yeah, felt good. That felt really good. I should be more excited. Sorry, my brain's in like data processing mode right now. Like, all right, how did that go? What happened? Like, how does that all go together? Man, no, that was great. I mean, the car did wonderful. It responded in the way that we would expect it to respond. Yeah, I mean, to pick up a half a second. That's a big deal at this point. So, that I think we can work from there and see how much better we can get it.
That was absolutely insane. All four wheels just came up off the ground on that Mustang. And Aaron just went a 690 at 212. What's up, man?
Man, holy cow.
I figured you roll up with a smile on your face.
Well, smile. I just anybody. Is he fine? Is he okay?
He's good.
All right.
So how scary was that?
So it was really a bizarre set of circumstances, because I couldn't even hear him if he was up on the brake or not, and then all of a sudden, and I let off the throttle a little, thinking I was in there for too long, and then it, like, the tree dropped. I'm like, I'm not ready. Like, I can't. Sorry, language. I can't go. And then I waited there long enough, and it left soft, and I was like, oh man. And I could I'm pretty positive I could see his hood. Like, that looked like a bumper drag almost, but I don't know.
All four tires off the ground.
Oh, then that makes sense, because I saw it up and I went, shit, I gotta go. Like, I gotta try and get past him, because if it comes down, I don't know where he's going.
Just a little bit.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please don't land on me. One of those deals, you know?
I shouldn't be laughing, but like, I had a feeling it was gonna not end well, unfortunately, from what I could see. So shame on me for not being good on the tree, but we fixed what we wanted to fix. That's great. It left soft in the 60, and made up for it because we didn't have to pedal it or anything. So a little reduction of power through that little 1.1, 1.2 spot, and the shock and the weight, and okay, yeah.
This thing was on a mission.
Yeah, we had a bag of Jelly Bellies up in the front bumper now. So if you're hungry, they're like up in there. And it's just a little bit of ballast up there. So I'm joking. Don't do that, people. Yeah. But yeah, that's hey, that's cool.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. It's 690. I don't know what our 100th was on our best ever.
I was gonna ask if that's a new personal best.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really close, but not. The 60 foot. I wanted it to go 685 to 688 or something like that, and I think it would have done that if the 60 might have done a little better than that. Because that was a 126. It's digging the hell out of the front bumper. There's a bunch of tire smoke off of it on that one. So sorry if it looks like it's blowing up at the end of the track. But it's getting a good bit of that. So we're gonna have some cleanup work on our hands.
So it's getting a tire on the front here?
Yeah. There's so much front downforce, and the chutes get out, and all that stuff happens. It does a little loving to the tire here. So if only that were all-wheel drive, not all-wheel drive tire shavings. It didn't quite work that way. So,
well, I heard you had a little eventful story from last night when you raced Garrett, when you raced Cletus.
Yeah, right. So we got back to the Airbnb, which of course, we should all want to get a good night's rest, and we don't. We go searching for videos and oh, what happened? We were there. We should watch it again. All that stuff. And I saw on Facebook, Garrett was talking about he thought that the turbo guard saved his turbo because he thought something had hit it, and he was saying it came off the Viper. And I don't have the heart to rib him and be like, well, they shouldn't have let us be in front. But we found this jammed into the front splitter of the car.
No way.
That
look at that.
Yeah.
We got a Hero 8.
Yeah, it used to be.
Oh man, it didn't hold up the 200-mile-an-hour blast by a 4,000-pound object.
Yeah, no, I think there's some shrapnel here too.
Oh man, that's wild. So that was lodged in the front here?
Yeah, it was literally, Kevin found it when we came back from the run. It was literally wedged in here, and unfortunately it spider cracked the paint here, and it jammed up in here. But yeah, this thing was up in here. So
how does that happen?
I don't know. Somebody didn't have a very good suction cup apparently, and we found it. And unfortunately, whatever happened, I'm sure there's a few missing parts here. I'm guessing that's what made it to his car. So that's a bummer. Yeah. But hey, it could have been worse. So.
What's up, brother?
How are you?
How's it going, man?
Josh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
What did it run? 190.28, I think.
What?
That's getting after it.
Yeah.
Look at you, Rockstar.
It was definitely pulling power, I feel like, because the data was a good bit slower than FL2K.
Okay.
So I think there's a little bit more room to go. So.
Heck yeah, man. What setting was that on? You guys have a little bit more left in it?
So that was the all of it map, but there's a good bit down low from second to third that we can put in, and then the E content is actually, it's only at 80%. So the way Aaron has his map set up, that to keep the car safe, it'll cut power to kind of make sure the car doesn't do anything that it's not supposed to do. So
yeah, for sure.